Hi everybody. Welcome to the third live stream, streaming with Alex, tentative title. And today my super special guest is Matt King, who has done some fantastic work with Powerpulp Comics and also with Tales. Is it Tales to Enlighten or Tales to Enlightenment?
Tales to
Tales to
enlighten.
Tales to Enlighten. And so we're just gonna kind of talk. It's not gonna be really a formal interview kind of thing because those are kind of lame. Not really. I guess if you know how to do it, they're not lame, but
Right.
I don't. So this is my very first time trying to do something like this. So how's it going?
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty good, Alex. Nice to meet you. You're sort of like one of the OG indie comics guys from back in the day, like
yeah, yeah,
akin to Steve McCardle or like a Ken Landgraf, somebody that's been doing it a long time. And just your enthusiasm for indie comics really shows in the posts you make, in your videos, either on Turbo
yeah,
Pit Fighter or on your own
yeah,
channel. So
yeah, yeah.
it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, yeah. I once had a comment. I was talking about one of my random access issues or something like that, and one of the comments from the YouTube guy people were, "Boy, you sure are excited about your comic." And I'm like, "Well, if I'm not going to be, who's going to be?"
That's it,
Um,
man.
you gotta stay excited. But that's kind of one of the subjects that we could broach. There's there's just so many things that we could talk about, from Power Comics to your books to my books to uh marketing and all of that stuff, that we're probably gotten we're gonna be here for an hour. And we'll try to get some of that stuff, but who knows. But one of the things that I'm really is like, I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I kind of go up and down in my excitement for comic books, and not so much comic books, but my excitement for, just life in general of creating and stuff like that, which I think everybody goes through. I said in my random access channel the other day, I'm getting the winter doldrums, and that might be part of it. But just staying excited. How do you stay excited for whatever it is that, like, you're pushing the Power Pulp comics? How do you stay excited for doing that? Is it natural?
So actually, I'm not excited at all these days. I feel like I'm sort of like an undiagnosed bipolar, and I'm really
Yeah.
riding fairly low lately. But I do run the social media, the Instagram account
Right.
for Powerpulp. So I guess I should probably say what Powerpulp is for anybody who doesn't know. Huh?
Yeah, yeah,
So what Powerpulp isn't is a publisher. From the outside, it might look like a publisher, but it's actually just a collective of self-published creators. So I
right,
have my
right.
books there. Chris Anderson has his books there. Jim Rugg obviously has his Street Angel stuff is published through Image, but he has his own zines and self-published books through Powerpulp, and it's just like a distribution outlet, like the old punk rock records collectives, where we all send our books to one place.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have a website. People and stores can make orders, and they go out and they all ship together. So
yeah,
if you
yeah,
wanted my book and three other people's books, you don't have to pay
yeah,
shipping for me and Jim and Chris. It's just
yeah,
one shipping charge. So it's
yeah, yeah,
kind of bulking them up, and the benefit to the stores is there's a 50% wholesale discount if you're a store, and
which is
uh,
rough. That's rough to give 50%, but
sure, yep,
it is what it is. Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm in the midst of, because I have kind of similar, where it's the comics creators marketplace, and it's my problem is that I'm not technologically sound enough to run a cheap website, so I'm going to have to kind of go a little bit higher end, because my website has just been bombarded with like fake orders, and I'm just like, this is hell. This is hell. So I've been
Ugh.
trying to figure that out. But before we get into all this stuff, the shtick that I have is that the guests are going to do trivia with me, three questions, and so you're going to choose Marvel or Star Wars.
Ugh. I guess Marvel, but I didn't know there was going to be a test. I'm nervous.
Yeah, yeah, there's a test. These questions are super hard. I don't know. Are you a Marvel guy, or are you a DC guy, or do you
Uh,
hate Marvel and DC?
I read a lot of Marvel growing up, but I don't really buy Marvel or DC anymore. So, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I'll give it a
What?
whirl.
Yeah, we're gonna have people coming in and talking about stuff on the chat, and uh, that sprinkly that I cannot pronounce this. That the BT sprinkly spank together 966 says, "Good job, I have too." Oh, they must be talking about the books. I'm
Either
glad
that
you've
or
gone with, yeah.
I say either that or they're talking about the bipolarism. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, could be, could be. I'm not. I don't think I'm bipolar, but who knows? You never know. Um, so I'm glad you chose Marvel because I just got the Star Wars one, and because the thing about this is it has a little technological thing here that it tells you the page to go to, and then you hit the answer, and then it gives you the Marvel one goes like ding 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 if you get it right, and it goes if you get it wrong. The
Uh,
Star Wars, I just got this one and apparently doesn't work right or something because it doesn't have any sound, which is really bumming me out because
uh,
I really love the sound.
Batteries
But
not
I
included.
that way, yeah, yeah, 946. So yeah, I'm considered a I consider myself a Marvel guy, but I love DC. And would you could just consider yourself like an everything comic book person?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up reading a lot of Marvel, but I also read a bunch of DC. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. Give me a question. I'll see if I can get it. I don't know. I'm nervous.
All right. Where did the Mandarin obtain his power rings? Oh, that's a good one. We should
Oh,
know that one. A,
uh,
from the ruins of an ancient civilization. B, from an alien spacecraft. C, from aliens from another dimension. Or D, he made them himself. And you know what? Oh, okay. I thought it was. I thought it was the battery went out or something. So, answer.
there's another dimension. Was that on there? Is that one of them?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
From aliens from another dimension. All right, see? My guess is from ruins from an ancient
No, that's
civilization with
probably
A.
right. 'Cause Doctor Strange, so probably.
The answer was B, from an
Oh,
alien spacecraft.
oh.
Beep,
Womp
beep, beep, beep,
womp.
beep. Yeah. These questions are pretty hard. So,
Hmm,
like I said, I consider myself a kind of a hardcore Marvel zombie almost, and
okay.
so I have a hard time with them. So I wouldn't feel bad anyway. Thought that you.
I started rereading the first all the Lee Kirby Fantastic Four a little while
Oh
ago.
yeah.
So I'm like on to like issue 15 or something, but
Uh,
I got a ways to go.
Are you reading them with just the issues or like the
So
original issues?
they over the last year they've released those facsimile editions.
Oh yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen those? And I
yeah,
don't really like the paper on those, but I thought it would be neat to own the single
yeah.
issues of, the first 12 issues. But I also have that giant Tastian book.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
No, no.
Oh, it's really big,
Is it
oversized.
oversized?
It's got like
Yeah,
the first 20 issues in it or something, and the paper is so nice.
that's
Those facsimile editions, they do that glossy paper. I don't like
yeah,
it,
yeah.
you know.
I generally when I'm reading stuff, like older stuff, I like to get the essential books just
No,
because they're so good for reading. I mean, they don't have the original feel, but they're you can take them to the beach and don't care because they are what they are.
right.
Um,
Are those the black and white ones?
Yeah, yeah, the big
Yeah.
thick ones that have
Yeah,
like 25 issues or something like that.
those are cool.
But I love them, and they're super cheap. They're like $10.
Yeah, I
So
got an X-Men one right over there in the corner that I
yeah,
just
yeah.
started reading.
Where did Bruce Banner go to college?
Oh
See,
man, I
these
don't
are
know. You tell me
these are
without looking
hard.
at the answers. I bet you don't know either.
A, California Institute of Technology. B, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. C, Desert State University, or D, Princeton University. Well, the question is, they were in New Mexico, right?
Right. I
When they
would
were
say,
testing the
but
bomb.
I feel like Desert State is like a red herring.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and also, like, Marvel is usually they're, like, grounded in the real world, so
Hmm.
they're not like, Star Productions or whatever,
Let's go
that
with
DC does.
MIT. I'm up here in
MIT?
Massachusetts, so let me say
Alright,
MIT.
alright, I'm gonna say, Princeton, just to be, and the answer is, C. Desert State.
I thought that was a fake
Of
out
course.
because of the gamma bomb and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. I wonder if there is a desert state.
I want you to cut all this out. It's not making us look good.
If you're looking for editing, you came to the wrong dude. My editing is very limited. 793. Um, who is Dr. Faustus?
Oh,
A,
he's.
an evil. What's that?
I was gonna just answer without even go ahead.
Oh, oh, you know this one then. A, an evil sorcerer. B, a criminal inventor. C, a Nazi agent in World War II. Or D, criminal and psychologist.
D. Yeah, he's from those Captain America books with
Oh,
the
nice.
big red bushy beard.
D. You got one. Woo!
All
I,
right.
I would not have gotten that one. I'm
He
sorely lacking in
he looks
my.
like Orson Welles with a giant red beard.
That's cool. So I don't know. I might not be able to draw. I'm not like Kurt who can weather a storm and draw and talk and drive in the car. I just don't understand how he can do it. But anyway, um, so let's get a little bit of background about you before we get into any of this other stuff. Where are you from, and how old are you? And do you like taking long walks on the beach?
Yes, long walks on the beach and moonlight dinners, candlelight. I was born in the '70s. I was born in the early '70s.
That's what you're
Um,
gonna say. That's your answer.
that's my answer. We moved to Massachusetts when I was 7, so I've been here since I was 7.
Oh, or you're a mass. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
I'm from Maine, and you know what we call Massachusetts
yeah,
people.
mass holes.
Yeah. Yeah. And really don't think that that's appropriate because I've met so many great Massachusetts people. But the driving, you guys deserve it for the driving.
Yeah,
You guys drive crazy.
we have a reputation for some reason, but
Um,
yeah. So my dad used to travel for work a lot, and he'd always come back. I think at the airport he'd get those 3 packs of comics,
oh yeah.
and that's kind of what set me off in this direction of reading comics. Was those value packs or whatever they were called back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Like how old were you when he got those
oh,
for you?
like this was like '76, probably '77.
So we're narrowing down
Yes,
your
yes,
age.
yes.
using
Uh,
using my Sherlock Holmes.
but
Um,
so yeah, so I've been reading comics for 50 years.
yeah, yeah. I actually got into it later. I started reading like 83, 82, 83, something like that. I had, read comics, when I was a little kid, but I had never really it never gelled with me. And I remember like an X-Men issue. I can't remember what issue it is now, but there's one where Wolverine and Nightcrawler are like doing this they're like doing this training thing out in the yard or whatever, and it scared the crap out of me. And I was like, "What?" But then it was years later that I loved the X-Men. So what is your favorite comic book
Oh,
or series of all time?
of all time,
Yeah,
that's a tough question.
it is. It
Uh,
is a tough question.
there was a reprint of a Captain America book. I think it was Cap. Let me see, Cap 105, maybe. If remember they used to do like I think it was called Marvel Super Action. It was a reprint title. Captain
Oh yeah.
America 105.
That's
Yeah.
that's kind of ways back,
Yeah.
105.
Well, 105, the original one is way
Yeah,
back, but they reprinted it in the '70s in this Marvel Super Action um,
yeah,
series.
yeah.
So that he battled Batroc the Leaper in that one. It was a Kirby
Oh
drawn
yeah.
issue. he
Yeah.
smashes a chimney on a rooftop. Really good issue.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Probably that one was maybe my favorite growing up, and then also I had the Jack Kirby 2001 series, issue 9 with Machine Man.
Well, that's cool.
That was a very formative one too.
I love how you're very specific on the issues that really changed your life.
Yeah,
Would you
well,
say that changed
yeah,
your life?
yeah, I would say so. 2001 number 9, the Machine Man issue, like in my Tales to Enlighten book, it's a parody character of Machine Man. We call him Manfred, the Man Machine. But he
Hmm.
but he looks. Let me see if I can get a picture of him right here. He looks, he's got the same purple
Oh
kind of
yeah,
body.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That's
There's
awesome.
actually in the first few pages from that issue, they have taken his human face, and he's like, "Where's my face? Where's my face?" So I had to include that
That's awesome.
in my
Oh
book.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I remember that scene. There's certain scenes in comic books that are like they're just iconic, like the Spider-Man lifting up
Oh yeah,
the garbage in the
yeah,
sewers or whatever. I've
yeah.
never read that issue. The
Oh
story,
really?
I don't know anything about it, but I know that iconic thing, like the Hulk lifting up the mountain in
Yeah.
Secret Wars. It's just an iconic thing that you always remember.
Yeah,
Um,
well, those Marvel comics, both of those is, obviously the message there is, don't give up, don't give up,
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
one of my
exactly.
other favorite um, issues is the Marvel 2-in-1 annual number. I want to say number 7, where he's like he's doing the boxing against, what's that guy's name? Anyways, he's getting the shit kicked out of him, and
Who,
but he
Spider-Man?
no, the Thing.
Yeah. Oh, the Thing, right.
Marvel 2-in-1. It was always
Oh,
the
right,
Thing,
right,
and
right, right,
so
right.
he was getting his ass kicked, and they got who was the villain? The blue guy. Anyways, kept saying, stay down, and the Thing just kept getting back up, getting back up.
Right,
So
right, right. Yeah, I mean that's the best comic books, showing true heroism, and that gets me. That kind of stuff is what really gets me, and I try so hard to put that into my comics.
yeah,
Whether or not I succeed, but um who knows?
the
But it's
champion.
really the champion.
The champion
Uh,
was the villain. Yeah.
oh, all right. So you are a Super Marvel guy to
Yeah,
know
but all
those
that
kind of
stuff,
villains.
is like from late '70s, early '80s. Like
Yeah. Well, that's when comic books were real, right?
it. I think you like the however old you were when you read comics is probably your favorite kind of comics. I would bet.
Yeah, 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 pretty much. Same thing with music, I think. The first song you hear from your favorite band is always going to be your favorite song for the most part, I think.
So
Um,
I just looked it up. That was 1982. I met the artist Ron Wilson at a Terrificon here in Connecticut. Had him sign it.
that's cool. That's awesome. Um, do you go to have you gone to a lot of cons? I've gone to like 3, I think. 2.
You've only been at 2 or 3 cons your whole life?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
live in Maine, so it's, that's all we have. We
yeah.
have like
You'd have
one
to
a
come.
year now, and
Yeah, you'd have to come down to Massachusetts or Connecticut probably to get
yeah,
a larger
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
I go to a few every, a handful every year.
yeah. So who's your favorite artist of all time?
Oh man, I mean, I guess Kirby. I don't know. I mean, Kirby's probably my favorite. I guess.
Yeah, really can't go wrong with Kirby.
I know. I know.
Whenever I do a review of anything Kirby, I just did those tops, one of those tops comics that they took his ideas and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Whenever I do anything Kirby, people love it. I mean, he's the king for a reason.
I have this sitting
Yeah,
right on my
yeah,
desk. This right
yeah,
here.
yeah. That's the oh, what's his name? That's not the
Bombast.
Bombast. Yep, yep. Because I have I got 2 in the dollar bin, and it was the Captain Victory or Captain something.
Captain
No,
Victory.
is it Captain Victory? Because
I
there
think
there
so.
was a Captain. a captain something else in another comic where he was like a space ranger or whatever. And then
Mm.
there's like the flying one that I got, which I'm looking forward to going over. But you can't go wrong with Kirby. Kirby's awesome. Mine is Walt Simonson, who is,
Mhm.
kind started out as a Kirby clone, which most are a lot of artists of, that generation did anyway, and then they, went on to do their own stuff. Um,
You should come down to a Terrificon in Connecticut sometime. Walt Simonson is there every other year probably, and he's such a nice guy. Him and his wife, they're the nicest people.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually talked to him a few times on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and yeah, he seems like a super nice guy, and I love his art. But I'm definitely one of those people that are like starstruck, and I just can't talk to. Like I met
I'm not good
Jack
at it
Black.
either.
I met Tenacious D at actually I have a funny little story. We went to see Tenacious D in Portland, and like a few hours before they were at the record store signing autographs and stuff. So I go in with my friend. Do you know Tenacious D at all?
I mean, I know who Jack Black is, but I don't know their music. No.
Right, right. So my friend and I go, and we go. He's in front of me, and one of the songs is "What T-shirt am I going to wear?" Where Jack Black talks about this in the song. He's like he's deciding all of the different kinds of T-shirts he's going to wear. You know, what could he possibly do? So my friend has this Transformers T-shirt, and he wants so bad to impress them. So we go through the line. They do their signing and stuff, and I go in after him. And right before the guy signs it, that's Kyle Glass, he says to my friend who is back to and can't hear him, "Hey, cool T-shirt." So it's like, but anyway, I was like, "Here, thanks, thanks for signing this."
Yeah, I'm
So
not good.
I'm
I'm not
super
real good.
starstruck.
I'm not real good at it either, but it's, it's still like when I go to these shows and I'll have some of these artists sign them. It's not that I really want their signature, but I just want to go and say to Ron Wilson that Marvel and Two in One issue. I was
Yeah,
like, I read this 100 times as a kid. This
yeah,
really.
yeah,
I mean, I know it might just be another job to you, but I really, this book meant a lot to me as a kid.
yeah, yeah.
And they'll sign it, and then I'll remember, that I actually got to meet him.
Yeah, yeah. That is kind of what my measure of success has kind of morphed into. I like what is success for you in comic books, basically,
Oh, to me,
to you?
like
Yeah.
in making my own books.
Making your own comics, people knowing you, how many comics you sell, any
Oh,
of that stuff. When
well,
are you gonna do you feel
so
like you're a
so
success now?
so I literally only made. Just to be clear, I'm just the writer on this book. James
Yep,
Edward
yep,
Clark is the artist, a
yep.
phenomenal artist.
Well,
The
you
idea,
say
the I,
you say just the writer, but like Chris Claremont is just the writer, and he's like a god to me.
I
So
know. I just wanted to make it clear that I'm not an artist.
right, right,
I don't want James to be sitting at home with his, steam coming out of his ears.
yeah,
But I'm just happy that I made that these two books exist. That's
yeah, yeah,
mission as far as I'm concerned, mission accomplished. If I never do anything else again,
yeah,
at least I did this, and I still get a real joy out of reading independent comics from other people. So I'm not one of those people that made a comic now I don't feel like reading them. Like, anyways, your
right,
question
right,
was, what do you consider a success?
yeah,
I
yeah,
consider it just a success that it was made, and that every once in a while somebody says, "Hey man, that was an amazing book. I really had a good time reading it," or whatever, or
right,
and
right,
they engage with you, that and acknowledge that you've made something.
right, right, yeah,
That's the success to me. I mean, I never expected to break even or make any money on it. That shit was never the goal.
yeah,
It was just a creative outlet. It was something that I wanted to do, and it got done. And those books are out there now.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think everybody gauges success differently, and I
Sure.
think the more successful you get in doing what you're doing, then the more you want. It's kind for me anyway. It's like it's a machine that will never be satisfied, I guess. And not to say that I don't feel grateful for whenever I sell a comic book or you know whatever. I feel so grateful, but then Maybe it's the low self-esteem that so many artists and so many creators have, that you're like you're just chasing the next high of a sale or a, you know, or whatever it is. So for me, success is like who knows how many comics I've sold, thousand maybe. Um, and that feels like it's a lot, you know? A
Sure.
1,000 cogs sounds like a lot, feels like a lot. But then whenever I sell one on my website or on the Kickstarter or whatever, I'm super happy and super excited about it. But then as time wears on, I'm like, well, I gotta do the next thing. I gotta get the next thing out, and you know, so part of that, I don't know if I'll ever feel successful or when I'll ever be like, "Oh, I've actually hit it," which is kind of what the cartoonist kayfabe have. You know, they talked about. They were like, you know, you don't just work for Marvel and then you're an instant success. You know, you have different plateaus of, you know, being known and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's definitely a complicated issue. I think
Well,
a lot of
if
people have that.
from the outside, Alex, looking at what you've done, how many other people can say they've made 40
Yeah,
issues of a
yeah,
series?
right,
Not,
right.
single-handedly. Not many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true, and I mean, I enjoy it, it's just yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't wanna feel like I'm ungrateful for anything because I love making comics. Yeah,
Right.
like you said, I'm enthusiastic about it, and that enthusiasm is never gonna wane, um, but at the same time, like, I kinda grew up wanting to be a penciler for Marvel and be, you know, the next Jim Lee, the next, you know, John Byrne or whatever, so having realized that, and this kinda comes into the Power Comics thing where having not realized that that's not gonna happen, you kind of have to self-adjust your expectations of success. And so many people are like, they just turn into, um, I'm going to do comics for myself. I'm not going to care about anything else that anybody, you know, if they think it's garbage, I don't care. If they buy, I don't care. This is purely for myself, and that's great. That's fine. Um, then why don't you just not print them? You know, not publish them. You want it, some part of everybody, even the ones that say it's just for myself, they want acknowledgement.
Right. Right. So when I made my book, I mean, I was of the mindset that I wanted to do it for myself. So I didn't write anything. Like, I wrote what I wanted to write. I wasn't
Right,
writing
right,
to try to please anyone,
right, right.
but definitely the bonus on top is that people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
the acknowledgement, sure, it's definitely a factor.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. So, are you gonna like I first talked to you saying, are you gonna I think your second one had come out and I'm like, are you going to make another one? And I was kind of trying to get my way into your,
Mm.
you know, the thing. And I think you said you weren't going to do another one because it was just too financially draining and stuff. Do you still feel like that?
Yes. Yeah. So the first one, I paid James a page rate,
Yeah.
and probably
Which is
after,
rough.
yeah.
That's
So,
rough.
so once I sell out of these, I imagine I'll break even. But the second book has 32 story artists in it,
Yeah,
550 pages, and there's probably a decent split of artists that I paid a page rate, and then artists that were just friends of mine that wanted to donate work. So
right.
I didn't pay for every page in here, but I have a lot of those books left. Um,
That's
the
how I felt before the Powerpulp I mean, the Power Comics guys got in touch
mhm,
with me. I had, like, 50 of them, you know, 100 of them left, and I
mhm.
was like, "They're just gonna stay in a box in my basement, and no one's ever gonna see them again." But then, you know, they contact me, whatever, and then I sold a whole bunch of them. So, you know, who knows?
And
Um
you're drawing a new issue of Mutandis?
Actually, yes, I'm doing a solo issue, but I haven't actually made this public. I've told a few people in my random access group, and I contacted Daniel Moeller, and he was
Oh, I
talking
love
about
Daniel.
yeah, yeah, he's great. I'm going to do an anthology, a Mutantis anthology. So anybody that wants to jump in on that, contact me, and that'd be great. Are you part of the Power Comics Facebook group?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't think
I'm
so.
I'm not on Facebook anyway. I'm just completely not. But I know that I'm part of that group. So I'll probably, invite a bunch of those guys, and because if you're part of that group, then you probably love Power Comics.
Yeah, I
Um,
would imagine. Why else would you be a member, right?
right, right. That would make any sense.
That channel started out so strong, and they had so and I don't know whether they just ran out of books to look at, or Evan and his buddies there just got too busy, or a
I
combination.
think I think Evans, because Evan is like a TV producer
Yeah, the
on
dark side of the ring.
yeah, Dark Side of the Ring, and that was like their channel's like flagship title, and so I think he just got busy with that stuff, and also the movie stuff, and I kind of don't feel like he was um full. I don't know how to say it. Full comic book um initiate nerd, you
Hmm.
know. Like he liked comics, he got into comics, and then you could kind of see from his videos, like he was getting all these golden age stuff,
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
yeah, yeah. So, but I don't know if he had the fire inside him to stay with comic books for
Right.
forever. So
Do
I have no idea.
are they still doing through Floating World like their own sort of imprint?
I have no idea. I have
Yeah,
no
because I
idea.
know they had Tony Lorenz had
Yeah,
a book, and McCardle stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And Ken Landgraf had a book, but I didn't know if they were still like plans to go forward with anything else.
Yeah, it's probably so small potatoes for Evan that, once you're in Hollywood, then, what are you gonna do? You're gonna draw, not draw, but talk about comic books on a,
Right.
1,000 subscriber channel or whatever. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's kind of like Frank Frazetta when he was doing comics and then, got into Hollywood and they're like, he's making the big bucks and he's just like, I can't go back to comic books because as much as I love it, just because it doesn't make sense financially.
Right.
So, what do you are you working? How do I put this? Um, are you going to do
So
another?
so I've been I've been writing another series. I have this series in mind that's like 20 something issues.
Right.
I have an artist that says he is interested, though it's been a while, and I've been note carding
Oh
it
yeah.
out. I've been note
Oh, that's
carding out
cool.
the whole story. So there, maybe I guess is the best answer I can give you is maybe.
Maybe. So is that going to be tied into your Tales of Enlighten,
No, Tales
or
to
no?
Enlighten is
Completely different.
I do have a volume 3 story that's also like outlined and stuff, but I can't afford to and keep a roof over my head
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
keep doing
You're
this,
you're you're talking about, like, if you sell the rest of them, you might break even,
Mhm.
and, it's so, when you make a comic book or a graphic novel or something like that, that really kind of isn't the case because, you print them all, you put them all this money into it, and then you sell 1 a week or 1 a
Yeah,
month.
and then
That
you
just
use the money for groceries and your electric bill,
right, yeah,
and then when you
yeah,
sold out, so I literally do only have about 20 copies left of the first book between
right,
what I have here at the house and what Powerpulp has. There's
yeah,
really only 20 or 25, probably 20 copies left. And so that's a whole nother problem is once that sells out, how do I come up with the money to reprint it?
yeah, yeah. Um, would you reprint it?
I mean, how am I going to sell any book twos that I have hundreds of copies left if
Right,
I don't
right,
have
right.
a book one?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
thing
yeah,
about this is the first book was 312 pages, and 100 pages of it is pinups.
yeah,
So I would eliminate the pinup section.
yeah,
That was for the Kickstarter. So it would be down to like a 200. I could get it down to like 200 pages, but still to mass, print, or obviously the more you print, the cheaper they are per unit.
right,
But
right, right. But
to
that
come
must
up
have
with
been
yeah, to come up with that bank is tough.
yeah, Yeah, that must have been I can't even imagine how much that is. Those are such big books that, you know, have you thought about print on demand?
I haven't looked into print on demand only because I don't a book this size. I don't think they even do that. But maybe
Yeah.
I guess Kurt does that
Crom?
with Crom, but that's like a black and white book too.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, I guess I'd have to look into it, but, print on demand, I mean, like I said, the purpose of it wasn't to make money, but there really wouldn't be any money if you do print on demand.
yeah, yeah. Plus, if you're selling it in comic book stores and stuff.
I mean, you
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to if to wholesale it if you're print on demand, I don't think. Like,
yeah, yeah,
the numbers, wouldn't make sense.
yeah, yeah. Uh, so, let's talk about Powerpulp a little bit.
Sure.
Whose idea was it?
So that is the brainchild of, 4 guys, Chris Anderson, James and John Coates, and Jamie Jones.
Uh-huh.
They all kind of had the same idea of, hey, how do we get uh, our books into stores? And they
Yeah,
at the time, Diamond was still a thing, and the Diamond catalog, the previews catalog,
yeah,
and the previews catalog would not take. Say Alex Turbin only had one book,
yeah,
they
yeah,
wouldn't. They're not interested. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They want a couple different artists under the company name, so
yeah,
they
yeah,
were Powerpulp was going to be like a fake company and they were gonna submit their. But then Diamond went under, and they're like, "Well, why don't we just use that idea and just distribute it ourselves?" And that's what
yeah.
Power Pulp became, was an umbrella for those 4 guys, and then they branched out immediately. And I don't know, there's another probably 8 people, so about 12 of us probably at the beginning.
Right. Yeah, Diamond really sucked. I have had a lot of dealings with them because Mutandis, we went through Diamond and we sold maybe 100 copies or something like that. And then Mutandis number two, we I can't remember if we did go through Diamond, sold maybe 25 copies, something like that. But this was back in 1992. And
Yeah.
then number three, we couldn't do it. We were just like, or we made this deal with this other company, and we did all number three and put it all together and sent it to them and everything. And then they ghosted us. So who knows what happens there. Um, but then, and I've had a couple comic book stores, so I've dealt with Diamond, and they just sucked overall. So I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they're gone, um,
Right.
but it also does kind of leave a void, especially for indie creators. You can go with what's the distributor now? Not
Lunar.
Lunar. It's
Penguin.
no. There's another one. There's another one that you can distribute through, but it's like you were saying, if you come out with one issue and you're by yourself or whatever, you can't. The only way to um, distribute with them is to like attach yourself to a bigger company that's already in their system.
Hmm. I
So
I thought Lunar was like that, but I'm not sure.
maybe that is Lunar. So there is that kind of a vacuum, from Diamond and stuff like that. So it's really great, and I think that indie comics anyway are not really made for comic stores.
Sometimes, but I mean,
How have you guys done with comic with your indie comics in the stores?
oh, we've sold to about 20 different stores at this point. We're adding them all. We've only been around for 6 months now, so we didn't
Right.
expect to have more than 20 stores in 6 months. So we're like right on track, I feel like. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is tough. Like I'm going down to my local comic shop tonight, and of all the customers there, it's like me and maybe 2 other people are interested in indie comic stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a tough sell, but
Yeah.
I feel like the quality of the stuff that Power Pulp is offering,
Oh, it's definitely it's great stuff.
is right there. And if you're like, if people like weird, Tarantino movies or David Lynch movies, then that's sort of the equivalent of, it's still got a high quality, but just like a weirder bent to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that the quality equals, the sales or
Mhm.
lack of sales. It's just that there's so much stuff in a comic book store, and there's so many. Like I think about this quite a bit. Like how many indie like there's different levels of indie creators. You've got your top tier, Dark Horse, maybe you might consider them indie, I don't know.
Right.
And then you've got what's that one? Distillery, or you have those high tier ones. Are they a high tier one? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I would
then
say so.
you like go down the list, and wouldn't you agree with, or do you think I'm way off base with
No,
that?
there's a couple different levels, sure, like, Image isn't one of the big 2, but I wouldn't call them indie
Right.
comics, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No.
And Dark Horse, if they have creators that are not s so there's, like, indie comics, and then there's, like, self-published indie comics like we do, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So,
right.
those guys are publishers. So, yeah, I feel like they're on a different level.
Yeah, yeah. Plus also, like you have the creators like us, and like I feel there's tiers above us. And actually I feel like the Powerpulp guys, you guys are above us, me. And so then you have the other tiers that are kind of lower, where they're more like zines or,
Mhm.
power comics ish, modern power comics ish. And then you also have like the web, the people that are specifically made for web
Right.
stuff. So it's all like a tier. So how many people do you think are in our tier of um wanting this
Customer
yeah,
base.
yeah, customer
Yeah,
base.
it's always depressing to think of because you start here, you're like, "Hey, here's United States,"
Yeah,
and then here's how many people read comics in the United States,
yeah,
and then it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
here, how many people read indie comics in the United States? It's like it's such a s and then it's just such a small demographic. But I couldn't tell you a number.
Yeah, I'm 10,000 maybe.
Who knows, right?
um, it because I'm thinking this because it feels like there's a group of people, especially on Instagram, but I mean, there's other people on, not on Instagram, not on, Twitter or whatever. Um, Everybody kind of knows each other,
Yeah, so
it
so our
follow each
demographic,
other.
is almost like we're selling to each other. Makers are selling to each other.
Yeah,
You know,
Daniel Bowler says, "We're talking. What are you talking about? Indie comics are the prime market." Well, it would be great to think that. Um, I do think that the market it expands and it contracts. During the pandemic, obviously, people got their pandemic money and they were buying stuff left and right, indie comics included. So I definitely think that there's um, a more of a fan base that is possibly there, but it kind of depends on the market, the economy, and all that stuff, and also how much interest you generate in the books that you're creating. You
yeah,
know,
there's a guy, Rocco Jerome, who does this book, Ghost Agents for Cosmic Lion, and he has the attitude that if he could get his book, he can win over customers if he could just get them to look at it.
right,
So
right,
he'll do all these shows and really put himself out there and try different venues. And you got to have that sort of attitude where um, you can't just rely on this comic book customers. You have to think that there's somebody out there that would like this. They just don't even know that they'd like this.
right, right,
So
right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of leads me back to the comic book store mentality of selling, is that you have all of these people going into the comic book store, seeing all of this different stuff, and why are they going to gravitate towards this indie comic? Um, It's 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 just it's a hard sell. It's a super hard sell. Like, I have had almost no success in the LCS. And the
mhm.
success I have had have been, they might know me, or, you know, like I'll buy anything local. Like if it's a indie comic local, I'll always buy it. So there's people out there that are like that, that'll just, support the indie comic scene. But whether they truly will enjoy it or not, that is completely different. So I kind of feel like the comic book store for selling indie comics might be not the way to go because it's such a broad thing. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally off.
No, I mean this is definitely some truth to that, I'm sure. But um, maybe we can get you to come to the IC3
Yeah.
show in Providence in September, and
Right. Right.
there'll
Right.
be a whole giant room of
Right.
makers, and then there'll be a whole bunch of customers coming in through the door too, and
Right. Right.
you can talk to some of these folks. They're out
Right,
there.
right, right. Definitely. And I don't mean to sound like negative about any of this stuff. It's just being realistic on the challenges of printing and publishing and promoting and all that stuff. You can't look at life through rose colored glasses and think, I've made this thing, so therefore everyone's going to buy it.
Right.
That's just
It's
that's
not a
not
get
it.
rich quick scheme, that's for sure.
No, it's not even a like you said, it's barely a break-even scheme, possibly. Hopefully,
Right.
that's like the best thing that you can do. So in your power pulp model, you really vehemently say that you're not a publisher.
Mhm.
Can you picture you guys being a publisher?
I don't think so because at you know, I would say 2/3 of the people have day jobs already. It's
Yeah,
like there's not enough
everybody
hours
does.
in the day to for me to go roof all day,
Yeah,
come home, write comics, read
yeah,
comics, spend time with my wife, and anything else that and then also be a publisher. It's just
yeah.
I don't foresee it, but never say never, I guess.
Also, so I don't want you to divulge any, secrets
Tr-
or anything,
trade
but
secrets.
trade secrets. But so you, it's like a consortium where you're all putting in money like the way I do it with my comics creators marketplace is I take 10% and I put it on the website and I ship it out and whatever.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how I garnish the money that will take to produce a website because websites are expensive, postage is expensive, all this stuff is expensive. So how are you guys recouping money from specifically new people that are part of PowerPulp?
So when we originally started, creators got 100% of the money. The Coates brothers were shipping the books. All their labor was free.
Yeah.
Everybody kicked in at the beginning to. We did a little PR. We'll put a little money into PR. We put money into the website, and then in October, or yeah, I think in October we had like a fundraiser where people put up original art, and any sales from
Yeah.
that went back into the company. But as of January, we any sales, not the wholesale order sales, but sales to readers where creators were getting 100% of the money. We have switched over to we're keeping 10% of it
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put back into the business. Yeah.
yeah. You haven't felt any kind of pushback, have you, from creators?
No. I mean,
I wouldn't think so.
no. I think 10% on is a reasonable ask,
It's
and
super
for the
reasonable.
amount of work that the Coats and everybody else is putting in, and and if they don't like it, there's the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody has to stay.
Right, right,
Nobody
right.
signed. There's no contracts. Everybody's here because they want to be here. Anybody can leave and take their books
Yeah,
with them whenever they want.
yeah,
There's nobody's like legally entangled with anything.
yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So we're about time.
Yeah,
Because I see.
because it took us 10 minutes to figure out how to log on.
Yeah, and also that damn trivia.
Oh yeah, the
um,
trivia.
But, I mean, hopefully you'll come back. It was great talking to you. I love talking comic books. On all of my reviews, I always end it with, leave comments because I love talking about comic books with people. And also, I was thinking, like, I have these pre pre-show jitters and stuff, and I'm like, what if Matt hates me? What if I hate him? you know?
Right, right.
So
Well,
so But
Well,
then I'm like, oh,
I'll just say, yeah, I do hate you, so this is probably the last one. No,
yeah.
I
Well,
could talk comics all the time. Actually, just this morning I was watching one of your videos because, um, I got this trade paperback of, Elektra
oh yeah,
Assassin,
Electra Assassin.
and I read it when it came out when I was a kid, and
Yep,
I
yep.
was like, "I don't know what the fuck is going on."
Me too, me too.
And so I started reading this as a 50-year-old man, and I still don't know what's going on. So I googled, "Is there a video about this?" And yours popped up. So your issue one
Yeah,
synopsis popped up. So I actually watching one of your videos this morning,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Jesus, this I mean, it's beautiful,
It is, it is.
but
But
damn,
when
dude,
Frank Miller's talking about milk, like
yeah.
what the hell does that mean? He's talking about milk.
It's a actually crazy issue. I've been reading an issue every day, so I've read
Yeah.
the last 6 days. So I got 2 issues left to go. Um, yeah, but if you figure out and talk about it on your channel, I want to know what happened. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you
Well,
can decipher it.
I do have all the issues, so yeah, I am gonna go back to that. I'm hesitant to do Frank Miller and Alan Moore because I love both of them so much.
Hmm.
But you know, once I get to a certain subscriber level, I've promised myself once I get 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna delve into the Watchmen, which is my favorite comic book story, not my favorite comic book series. So I'm gonna do that. But
Yeah,
yeah, then I
I'm always happy to talk comics. If in the winter I don't work a lot, so that's why I was
yeah.
around 2:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. And if this
Yeah,
is when you usually do it, and I'm available, I'll be happy to join you anytime.
that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, that's what I was thinking was like I've never met a comic book fan that I didn't instantly, connect with. Like
Hmm.
I was a short order cook for the longest time, and people come in and out of there, doofuses or whatever, and I'm like, whatever. But then somebody comes in and starts working there, and they're a comic book fan, and automatically, bam, we're like best friends. So, I could talk about comic books with anybody. It doesn't matter. It's like a brotherhood. And,
Nice.
you know, so anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks for joining me.
Of
And
course.
hopefully we can talk about more stuff. We can delve more into your um tales of enlightenment because um I don't really know a lot about the story.
Hmm.
Um, but but is it about religious stuff?
So originally, we could get into that next episode. I'll give you
Yeah,
the full
yeah, yeah.
rundown.
Awesome, awesome, great. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Great, Alex. I had a great time. Thanks.
All right, thanks.